what Jung called individuation, and which was later by the existentialists developed into the concept of authenticity, that you maintain, if you know who you are, you maintain your authenticity no matter what the cost. And that's what she represents.
Welcome to the Stories Cafe podcast, the espresso version of Stories Cafe, offering quick, enriching moments of reflection on literature, cinema, archetypes, philosophy, and the art of living deliberately. Just like a perfectly crafted espresso at a Parisian cafe, each episode is a brief pause for you to submerge yourself in something invigorating and fulfilling. I'm Annette Wernblad, course creator, internationally published author, and wanderer at heart. So cozy up as we explore the powerful world of stories, how they shape our lives, and teach us the art of living deliberately.
We are staying in the France-related context today. We are going to the left bank of Paris, to Place Furstemberg. If you walk alongside the church, Saint-Germain-des-Prés, en rue de l'Abbaye, you come to this little street called Rue de Fürstenberg. And if you follow that, you come to Place Furstemberg. And it is the place at the end of the Age of Innocence in the Scorsese adaptation of Edith Wharton's novel. After Madame Olenska is expelled from New York by New York society, many years later, Newland Archer is in Paris with his son. And the son says that Madame Olenska, whom you used to know, has invited us to come visit her. And of course, many years ago, he gave up Madame Olenska to stay with his wife, May Welland. And he now has the chance, his wife is dead, he has the chance to see the love of his life again. So they go to that breathtaking square. The son goes up to visit Madame Olenska. They're both invited, but Newland decides to stay downstairs because whatever reason. We're going to talk about that next month. Why does he do that? And so he's just sitting there looking up at her window. If you're ever in Paris, please go there. And I always, when I'm there, I always stand there looking up at her window, thinking, somebody's living there. Some people are actually living there. It's so odd. I always think when I'm expelled by whoever, if I could just live at Place Furstemberg, I'll be happy. To me, it makes all the sense in the world that Scorsese, at the end of Edith Wharton's book, she's just located in Paris. And I think she's located on the left bank, but it's not specified where it is. And that, of course, means, and this is another reason why he shot it on location, Scorsese, because he could have just chosen, as most people do, an anonymous Paris-looking building. But I'm thinking, why did he specifically choose the Place Furstemberg? And if you compare it to everything we talked about, that this whole area, very centered, this is just, again, a few steps away from the church. It's one of the oldest areas, but it's also an area that represents specifically non-conformity. So I think it is so fitting, of all the places he could have chosen to put her at that end, this is where she ends up. The place that represents symbolically and almost archetypally non-conformity, not wanting to conform to whatever norms society set up for you, the expectations, the whole thing to do with what Jung called individuation, and which was later by the existentialists developed into the concept of authenticity, that you maintain, if you know who you are, you maintain your authenticity no matter what the cost. And that's what she represents. So all the places she could have ended up in that final scene, I think the area close to, but not on, the Place Saint-Germain-des-Prés is perfect. Because at the same time, she, like all of Edith Wharton's most interesting female characters has a very rich inner life. And it is a little bit withdrawn from that sort of central hub of non-conformity, but very, very close to it. Does that make sense? So you have these things that take place in this area. And for me, that scene in Midnight in Paris, where Gil says, my professor actually once saw him there, James Joyce, at Brasserie Lippe, eating sauerkraut and frankfurters. Of course he did. And of course, that's extremely interesting. And the fact that she lives there, and I think the fact that Newland Archer cannot bear to go upstairs and see her, which could mean actually a lot of different things, is so interesting. Because in the final analysis, she represents and is incapable of violating her authenticity, even for his sake. She represents nonconformity. And he represents somebody who is very attracted to nonconformity, but he cannot bring himself to take that step into being in that group of people.
Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your espresso break and learned something new. If you're eager to dive deeper into the world of stories and ideas, be sure to hit the follow button in Spotify or the plus button in Apple Podcasts so that you get each new episode straight to your podcast app. You can also visit us at Stories Cafe. Just go to stories-cafe.com. There you can explore free content for a taste of what we offer, or if you're ready for more, a paid membership unlocks in-depth discussions, full access to our archives, and a vibrant community of fellow story enthusiasts. I am so thrilled to have you here, and I look forward to welcoming you back to the Stories Cafe soon.